Alright guys, I just wanted to show you this. This is the finished product. That's your elevator mechanism. I don't have a aluminum servo arm yet, but when I do, that's where it's going to be. And it's probably going to look something like that. Gives the smallest amount of throw as possible. Slows the servo down, but it gives it more torque. Like I said, here's, let's see if I can focus it here. This cam works a lot better with a manual focus. There you go. Alright, so lock nut, arm, aluminum spacer, brass spacer that doesn't go into the arm, bearing, recessed, another brass washer that actually sits inside the blue arm, washer, bolt head. It's like that on both, and you'll do that same as the servo arm. Now I did run into a problem. The stand by. Let me get a ruler here. Alright, let's zoom here. The original bolt that goes through this entire thing is the original is, looks like a 16mm bolt. When you put that aluminum spacer in there, it's about 4 threads too short. You don't actually hit the plastic material in the lock nut. So what I did, just replace these with a 20mm long 3mm bolt, and that way you get about 5 threads out the bottom of the actual lock nut. And it's almost tempting to put another bolt on the back of this just to kind of secure it. I know it's a lock nut, but and I don't think it's going to need that on the servo arm, because like I said, you won't have that aluminum spacer, so you'll be able to use the 16mm just fine. But like I said, with that spacer in there, it lines up perfect, because these things are tight. There's no up and down. There's a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 millimeters up and down, so it's got to be in line, or it's going to bind. So you may have to, depending on what kind of servo you have, you may have to put a washer underneath there, or a shim, to move it up and down. That way when you tighten the bolt down on the servo arm, it doesn't bind. But I know a couple people. I know Dubs F-14. They went and got some of these new ball ends, and he machined an aluminum piece here. But I mean, these arms are so short, they're hard, very hard. You can't bend these. I mean, if you're bending that, I don't think you can bend that under normal loads. So I'm going to use these just like I did on the F-16. If something happens and the bearing disintegrates inside the blue end here, you've got that washer there that's going to keep it from coming off. So unless this thing just breaks off completely, I don't think there's going to be an issue. No slop in here. Bearings feel really good. And this will bolt in just like that. Elevator comes in from this side, and you just tighten down these four bolts here onto the shaft, and then lock it in with the 2 set screws. Plenty of room. These bolts are long enough; they go all the way through and come out the bottom of the horn, so it's getting plenty of threads. Seems like a very secure mechanism. And then when this is put in, the bolts here, 2 wood screws here, and that's it. Alright, you guys have a good night. I'll get back to working on this probably tomorrow or later on, getting this installed. Till then, you guys have a good night.